You know it still hurts a little bit, but not that much. Cause if you want somebody else, who am I to judge? I've been thinking about you all the time, but that's alright.
Hey there, I really appreciate you being here. My name is Mercy, for those who don't know me, and today is gonna be an updated Q&A, a comprehensive Q&A, because I realize I've gotten so many subscribers and they probably don't know who is this Mercy. So today we're gonna address that. At the same time, I've ever done a Q&A like I don't know when, could be 1 year ago or less than a year ago, and that time I was so shy. I didn't want to open up on the internet, but now I'm kind of getting used to this vlogging thing, this YouTube thing, and today I'm gonna be very honest. We're gonna talk about everything, because I get questions on Instagram, sometimes on the comment section, and people are so curious. People are so curious, they want to know, and they want to know more about me, which I really don't mind, because I put myself on the internet. At the same time, I want to connect with you guys. I want to have I don't know if I'm gonna say a real connection. I want to connect with you guys more so that you can understand my content, understand who is this Mercy. And one of the things that I want to address today, because I get questions like, are you married? Are you single? What is your relationship status? Who do you live with? I get all those questions, and today, if you want to know my relationship status, you'll have to stick around, because we're going to talk about that today here on this channel. But first thing first, we're going to see the outfit of the day, because you know what, that's what we do. And today, just very simple outfit, just jeans and this top. And you all have seen this top actually, and nowadays I'm loving red so much. You probably might see a lot of red on this channel, but it is what it is. And if you want to see more of my looks, and because like I always say, I love putting outfits together. That is another passion or a gift of mine, and I do that a lot on Instagram. And if you want to see more of my looks, hot stuff, what I wear every day, styling outfits, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And I always leave a link of my Instagram on the description of all the videos, and I'm gonna do the same too on this video too. So first thing first, I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea, and you can do that as well, because you know what, I want you to get comfortable, feel comfortable. I want you to feel good when you're watching this video, and let's get into the video. Let's make a cup of tea first, and we get into the video. All right? Okay. Let's get the comb. I'm gonna use the biggest mug, because I haven't had breakfast actually. It is 8 a.m. and I haven't had breakfast, so I might as well use my biggest mug for my coffee, for my cup of tea actually.
When you left, it was cold. Said we loved one another. Guess that we were wrong. I met you in the summer. Our love was out of control. I've been going crazy without you. I'm so alone. I met you in the
Now that my cup of tea is ready, and it's not tea actually, it's Milo, because I realized I don't have tea bags, and I'll probably go to the grocery store after this video. Anyway, it's so good, Milo. It's so nice and so sweet, because one thing you people don't know about me is that I drink a lot of sugar. I don't even know whether I should say that on the internet actually. But I don't think I should say that. Let me just say that, but oh my god, I take a lot of sugar and I probably should do something about it. Anyway, so the first question that I get asked is how tall are you? And I'm 5'7" or 5'8". I'm tall, but not that too tall. And I grew up as a tall child, actually. I was always the tallest among my classmates, my peers, my age mates, my sisters. I was always the tallest child, and I got bullied a lot for my height. And I don't know why the adults around me made me feel like I was too tall, or like being tall was a bad thing. And I hated my height. I hated my height so much. And it's only now, actually, I came to accept and love my height as an adult. Can you believe that? As an adult. So even when I was in campus, I don't know whether I had accepted my height, but I came to accept my height much later and be comfortable. The next thing is I get this a lot, actually, all the time, like, how did you move to Australia? And I've done a lot of content, like I said, about Australia. If you want to move to Australia, how to migrate to Australia, the challenges. I came in Australia as a student on a student visa 5 years ago. And then I get asked whether I regret. Actually, I'm going to follow up with that. Do you regret coming to Australia? I don't know, migrating and all that? No, I don't. Actually, I don't. I'm quite happy being here. I used to when I was new, when I was really new. I did, actually. I almost went back home. But at this point in life now, 5 years later, I'm happy. I'm okay being here, and this is home for me, to be honest. This is home. Yeah, that is what I can say. I'm happy being here. And the next thing I get asked a lot is, where do you come from? What did you study back home? What are you doing? So I come from Nakuru. For those who are in Kenya, they know Nakuru, a place called Njoro. That is where I grew up. And then I did Bachelor of Commerce. That is what I started back home. I was working in an insurance firm. I had a good job and all that kind of stuff. But my boss was very mean, actually. She was terrible. And a bully, for that matter. And then I moved to Australia. I did business management. But then again, I'm not practicing what I studied back home. I'm in a completely different field, and like I said on my previous videos, I don't think that is the career path I want to follow at this point in life. So yes, yeah, so that is it. How many kids do you have? And how many kids do I have? I have 5 kids. Yes, I have 5 kids, but those are my nieces and my nephews. I don't have kids yet. And I think it's time to address those people in my DMs or whatever. Not anymore, actually. They used to, but now they don't. I don't know why women get shamed a lot by people when they don't have kids or when they're not married. Because, I get those questions and, oh my God, you should have at least one child. You don't have children. You're getting old. How old are you? All those kind of stuff. And, oh my God, you're not married. You're not married? Wow, you should get married now. Are you not getting old? Why? I don't know why people are very much concerned about such kind of things on other people. And you know what? We're just doing life. If I'm happy with the choices I've made in life, I don't think that should concern anyone. And I really don't want to do negative content, so I might edit that part out and leave it at I don't have kids yet, but I have 5 nephews and nieces, and I call them my kids. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. But then again, I didn't edit, so I left it there. Another question is, how do you maintain your body? And any fitness routine. To be honest, if I'm being very honest, then I'm not gonna look into this camera and lie to you guys that I have any fitness routine. I don't do anything to maintain my body. I don't do anything. I don't have a fitness routine. I don't eat particular food. I actually am a worst eater. I eat bad food. I don't, like I said, take a lot of sugar, and I don't think I should say that on YouTube. I don't do anything to maintain my body, nothing at all. If I do exercise, I do stretches here and there, like minimal exercises. I walk sometimes, but I don't do anything. It's genetic. Let me just say that it's genetic, and that's it. I don't want to come here and lie to you guys. Oh, I drink this shake. Yeah, I don't want to come here and say, oh, I have this. I don't know what diet I follow. This exercise I do. I don't do all that. I don't do all those things. It's genetic. Yeah. Okay. Another thing is what keeps you going. What keeps me going is God. Of course, I'm a firm believer of God. I'm spiritual. I pray a lot. And also my family, and also knowing that I'm destined for greatness, or there's something else that I'm destined for. Like I don't want to settle for what I have now. I don't want to settle for average. I want to keep going. I want to keep pushing. I want to keep creating content. I just want to keep going. I'm really motivated to keep doing what I am doing now. And of course, I get motivated by the positive comments I get here on YouTube as well, and on Instagram as well. And I push myself. It's really not easy to motivate yourself to create content, especially when you're not earning from it, or when you're not getting anything from it. But because I'm so passionate about what I do, I'm so passionate about telling my story, about encouraging someone, motivating someone, inspiring someone. I'm so passionate about fashion, so I have to push myself and keep going. And of course, I have support from my family and from my friends, so that is what keeps me going. And knowing that there's something higher, there's something else that is waiting for me, and I cannot just get something by just sitting around and not doing anything. I have to push myself. I have to keep doing it. And I hope that will motivate you as well. You cannot just sit down there and wait for your life to change. It's not going to change. You just have to take action. If you want your life to change, you want to move to a different country or city, you have to have the initiative. You have to be proactive. You're not happy about the kind of job you do, you have to think of ways of how you're going to get another job, or you're going to work on something else. You don't like the kind of life you're living, you have to think of ways and work on ways on how you can improve your life or change your lifestyle. Another question is, what do I do for work? I work in a healthcare industry. Like I said, I don't practice what I have studied, what I studied here and what I studied back home. I'm in a completely different field. And of course, I show up here on YouTube and on Instagram because I consider this my job as well. So that is what I do. And so far, so good. I'm loving the journey, and I'm happy. Let me just say that. Another question I get asked a lot is, how do you deal with not a lot. How do you deal with negative comments and hate? I actually don't get a lot of negative comments. I get positive comments most of the times. The only time I did get negative comments was when I did that video. I'm gonna adjust you guys a bit. When I did that video, that kind of went viral. The video didn't go viral, but the person who took the content of that video and wrote an article, that is the Daily Mail, that article went viral. That is the only time I got negative comments or negative reactions. And the video is about dating here in Australia. If you haven't watched that video, go and watch that video. It's really interesting. The negative comments, I actually didn't feel anything, to be honest. If I'm being very honest with you, I didn't feel anything. I wasn't moved at all. I was kind of shocked that somebody took the contents of my video and wrote an article about it, but that's just it. I didn't feel anything. I didn't worry. I also used to get negative comments when I used to do those videos about challenges in Australia, what we do in Australia, all that kind of thing. And actually, I don't mind negative comments. Just sharing my story. It's my opinion. You can have a different opinion. We can agree to disagree. And there is really nothing wrong with that. So I actually get positive comments. I get a lot of positive comments, and I also get positive comments on my DMs, and I'm really so happy. I'm so thankful. But also, if you have a negative comment, positive criticism, you can as well write to me. But then again, it all depends, to be honest. It depends. Oh my god, it's so good. So the next question I'm going to talk about, I've had someone ask me about body insecurities, whether I have any body insecurities, and whether I've done any surgery. And body insecurities, I think everyone has body insecurities here and there, and I do have body insecurities, especially like I said, I grew up in an environment where I had adults talk about my height in a negative way, talk about my body. They said I was too fat, I was too tall, I was too dark. And I grew up in an environment where there was a lot of comparison as well. So that kind of messed me up in a bit. And like when everyone's, oh, she's too tall, she's too and I'm a child at that time. Of course, I'm not even in high school, I'm in primary school. And she's too tall for her age, she's the tallest in class, she's the tallest among her peers, she's too fat, and all that kind of stuff. Well, I was in high school. Actually, I was in Form 1, and this teacher, I wanted to join this dancing class or whatever, and she said she can only work with petite girls. She didn't want to work with big girls. Can you imagine someone telling you that? So being big is a problem. There's something wrong with being big, or So that kind of stuck with me and messed with me at some point, because even now sometimes I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, oh, you're too fat, you need to lose weight, you're too fat. I tell myself that. And actually, there's nothing wrong with being a big girl. There's nothing wrong with wanting to gain weight or wanting to lose weight, because there's really nothing wrong with that. But this is just my story. So that is the insecurity started. And but of course, I've worked on myself really much. I've really worked on myself. I love myself so much. I've accepted myself with all the imperfection of my body. I love myself. I think I'm beautiful, and that's all that matters. And talking about my childhood, I have this book that I'm reading. This book by Taylor Perry. You all know this man. He's so inspirational, and this book is so good. And I was reading this book yesterday. Actually, I got it yesterday, and I've actually read quite a lot. And the exercise for yesterday was writing a letter to your younger self, to the child you, because it's kind of a healing and all that kind of stuff. And it's like releasing your past, because every time, to be honest, every time I think of my past, I don't have any good memory. I don't remember. Of course, I have so many good memories, but I tend to think about the negative childhood and not the positive childhood. So this book is kind of telling you need to release your past. You don't have to live your past anymore. You need to let go. And the exercise is writing a letter to your younger child, to your younger self, and of course seeing my childhood and where I am at this point. So this morning I wrote a letter, a very long letter actually, a little Muthoni. Actually, my other name is Muthoni, and it feels so good. It's therapeutic, I'm telling you. So this book is really so good. Higher is waiting, especially if you're a spiritual person, you believe in God and all that. This book is so good. It's so good. What is that showing me? I don't know what my camera is showing me, to be honest. I don't know what's that. So that is my story with body insecurities. Another thing, I haven't done any surgery. Yep. The next question, but by the way, before I go along, I've just remembered I wanted to say when I was talking about my body insecurities and how I was made to feel when I was growing up. If you have young girls, young kids, especially girls, your sisters, your nieces, you don't have to keep reminding them that they are growing up and all that kind of stuff, or saying it in a negative way. It really does affect children when they are young. And I can tell you this, it affected me so much, because I was constantly reminded I was too big, I was too tall, I was too that. So please, it's good to be very sensitive with the kinds of things we tell kids especially young girls, because you know, when they become teenagers or they're 10 years and above, and then they start feeling inadequate because of what the kind of things they've had adults talking about, you know. Yeah, that was the message. Anyway, the next question I get asked a lot. Actually, I have other questions about Australia. Is it worth moving to Australia? Are there jobs in Australia? And like I said, I've done so many videos about Australia, so many of them. And if you scroll down my channel, you're gonna see all the content about Australia. And what was I gonna say? And if you really want to move to the Western world, you want to move abroad, you can do it. You can do it. And can you get a job in Australia? You can get a job. Is it worth moving to Australia? Personally, I think it's worth. And I am happy at this point in my life. It has not always been like this. There was a point I wanted to go back home, but for now I'm happy. I feel good and I don't regret for making that choice of migrating. And I always wanted to move to a different country, and I'm glad it did happen when it did happen. Okay, and the question you've all been waiting for: are you single? Are you dating? Are you married? Who do you live with? Where is your boyfriend? Where is your husband? People are so curious, so curious. I get asked that question a lot actually on my DMs, and I actually don't mind when people are curious, because they want to get to know me, and I really don't mind people getting to know me, because you know what, I put myself on the internet, and at the same time I want to have a connection with my YouTube, my subscribers, my community. So somebody is about to get hurt. My relationship status is somebody is about to get hurt. Somebody is about to get heartbroken somewhere. Somebody is about to get heartbroken. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Nobody's gonna get heartbroken. My relationship status is complicated. Yeah, that is my relationship status is complicated, and that's just it. That's how it is. Probably next time we do a comprehensive updated Q&A, maybe that the relationship status is gonna be different. But for now, it's complicated, and we're gonna leave it at that. And yeah, that's just it. There's nothing juicy about it, but that's just it. That is how it is, you know. And I think I've done all the questions. If I haven't, if there's anything else you want to know about me, you can always send a DM on my Instagram, you know, or write a comment. And I'm always very happy actually to address anything someone might be interested in knowing. And at the same time, you know, if you want to see any different kind of content, any content you want to see, you can always write to me. Actually, I'm very open to ideas, and yeah, I'll do all that. So just leave a comment down below, write me a DM, write me an email. Actually, I have my email address. I don't know if I might put it on my link, but I can always put it there. And I think we've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much, people, for watching. I really do appreciate having when I'm creating content for you guys, because I don't know if I've said this, this channel, as much as I'm talking about myself, I wanted people to get to know me. It's not about me, to be honest. The channel is not about me. It's about me encouraging someone, motivating someone. It's about me you know, I hope when you watch my content, at least you leave with something. You don't leave empty. You don't feel so empty when you leave my channel. I want when someone watches my channel, they leave with something, you know, something positive, or even just relax, you know. Sometimes that is why I do like the video I shot. That video is going live tomorrow. So by the time you're watching this video, you will have that video will already be live. I did morning routine and all that kind of stuff. The aim of that video was just someone to watch the video and feel calm, relaxed. That is the kind of content I want to create. So anyway, what was I saying? I digress. I was ending up this video. We've come to the end of this video. Thank you, people, for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to share with your friends if you like the video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And now it's Sunday. Today is Sunday. I think I'm gonna do the laundry, head to the grocery stores so that I can come and cook lunch and probably edit this video and edit Instagram videos I did yesterday. And I'll see you on my next video. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Pride, but I guess that's what love do to people like us, struggling to come through. We had a fire that we watched it burn out. Isn't it time we go our separate ways? Not enough time, not enough time. I'm falling